Welcome to RadicalWellnessTV.com. This is Laura Lee, and I am here with a beautiful day and Green Gordon over here. I'm sneaking up on him. What are you doing today, Green Gordon?
I'm getting ready to dig in your hole.
Oh, great! You think that's big enough?
I don't think so.
Okay.
It'll make great fertilizer by spring.
There you go. Which is how far away? Let's see, it's February.
Not long. Not too long.
All right, jokes aside.
What I'm doing is I'm conditioning my soil right now. And what it means is last year's soil was fantastic. And I want to get it back up to par again. And to do that, I've got to add some things to it. So I went ahead and I got out a bag of back guano, which is probably, if you don't do anything to your soil, if you add back guano to it, you're way ahead of the game. It works terrific with cannabis, and I don't know about hemp, but I'm assuming it would since they're in the same family. It's very strong, so it doesn't take very much. Like, for instance, this whole thing I just turned over, all the soil, I put probably a 12-ounce cup in there and mixed it.
Okay.
And now I'm going to come back because it's a very light silica type substance. I'll show you. Super light. You should wear a mask when you do this, so don't mail me a letter thing or sue me because you got lung cancer or something.
No suits here.
But anyway, this is what it looks like when it comes out.
Okay.
Very light. See
Oh,
how
very
it takes
light.
off in the wind? It's kind of got a little glitter to it.
Okay.
You don't want to breathe it, that's for sure. Because
Okay.
bat guano basically is
Jezebel, get over here.
it's bat poop.
Okay.
It's bat poop that's been dried and ground,
Okay.
and the nutrients in it are off the charts.
And that's what you're looking for, is the nutritional part of the soil?
Yeah, it's full of soil.
Look how big that was. And that didn't take very much, did it?
If you grow right, your plant's going to be in that soil for its whole life. All you're doing is moving it from this size, a bigger pot, to a bigger pot. But if your soil's all the same, then it gets acclimated that much quicker when you transplant it. It puts it in less shock. The people that grow it in some soil and then, I'm going to go buy me a pot of some new soil for when I transplant it. You're mixing it up. It's like feeding the Bloody Marys, and then one day, hey, here's a whiskey sour.
Okay.
It's going to shock it. It's going to be like, oh, this is different. It's like, oh, let's wait for a little bit. I'm kind of going to wait and see what happens. But if you start that plant with Bloody Marys from birth, Bloody Marys all the way through, it knows Bloody Marys. It's going to grow bigger. It's going to produce more.
It's like familiar.
This stuff here, in order to not get this around, you want to cover it. Come under it. Turn it. Try not to expose much of it to the surface where it can blow away. And then you let that. And then if we get a rain here, next soon,
We're expecting one.
yeah, I'll take the cover off.
It's February 23rd. Very special day.
I'll let the rain get on there. Wet this stuff. Come back after the rain. Stir it up. Cover it with a black.
Tarp, right?
And it starts cooking. Stuff really starts cooking good.
Nice.
So you mix it up.
So where do you buy the back guano?
That bag I went to the farm supply.
Okay.
Certain things they aren't up to date on yet,
Right.
and they're making an effort. They finally carry ingredients in there for growing, and they don't list it. They don't have any signs like cannabis nutrients here. You know, they're not, but they know that this area is bound and determined to grow more, and so the increase in demand So I try to take in whatever business I can over to those guys. But it's about an 80-20 right now, where 80% of my business still goes to the grow store, because they do carry, without a doubt, everything you need plus more.
Nice.
And their knowledge is unsurpassed. I don't know what anybody that does know as much as those guys. Certain individuals that really have they came from up north, the Triangle. They're living in the Triangle.
The Triangle is what?
That's the Triangle counties of Humboldt, Trinity, and what's the other one?
Placer,
Humboldt
no.
and Humboldt.
No, Humboldt,
They're all
Trinity,
the
and...
Triangle makes the Triangle.
Okay.
And if you have the chance to ever do that, if you're young, I recommend that. Just like going and working at a ski resort for a season, I would recommend going and working up there for a season, because you're going to get knowledge that's coming down from these guys, these old salty sea dogs, you know, that have been growing there since they were 20 and they're 50 now. They definitely know a thing or two.
They know what they're doing. And then with the hemp market moving in, and we live in a 3-season, you can push it into 4 crop region. And that's something that to think about when hemp is a solution, I believe. But this is for cannabis.
So yet we got the handcuffs put on us by our county.
Oh no, really? What do you mean?
Our county did an all-out attack on hemp.
What county is that?
This is San Luis Obispo County.
California?
There's corruption. Well, if anybody that's lived there knows what corruption that goes on in this county. What we're dealing with right now is we have a wine industry that brought in a lot of money to the area in the shape of wine, tourism, wine tasting, all that, and that fills up the motels in the area.
Over here.
That fills up the motels with people. It brings people to the restaurants.
Look at your audience.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. It's good for business, but there's plenty of room in this county to have 2 crops. You don't have to have all grapes, because grapes demand a lot of water. So does cannabis. But if you put them side by side, and you have one column grapes, one column cannabis, the benefits. Off the top of my head, I can't think of any benefits that grapes have, except for they produce wine. And in my eyes,
and food,
it produces wine, which produces alcohol, which produces impaired drivers, which creates head-on collisions, which kills innocent people. It's not alcohol is evil, bottom line.
Yeah.
Okay, that's my book. Cannabis, I can't even tell you. You'd have to have at least a 45-minute video just to tell you, without even going into detail, the benefits of cannabis.
That's right.
It's endless. Every day there's more and more and more things they're discovering. That's why that weed was clear back in the Bible days and before that. They have Egyptian holograph pictures, whatever they call it, inside the building and caves and the places where they have their cannabis plant right there. They knew back then, 3400 BC.
The value of it.
The value.
That's why, since we've been under a sort of a scourge.
Cannabis had the rug pulled out from under it in the early 20th century, when you had William Randolph Hearst and the Rockefellers and those kind of guys. They wanted to put a damper on it. They didn't like the cannabis. They didn't like it. They wanted it stopped. So they created these series of movies that made cannabis about to be something where you smoke it, you go crazy, and you kill yourself, and you jump off buildings, and whatever it was all a bad ending with cannabis.
What was that movie called?
Reefer Madness.
Oh, wow.
Reefer Madness, 1930s, early 30s, I think it was, 34. And it's the biggest derelict adaptation or what do you call it?
Adaptation?
Not adaptation, but derelict.
Propaganda.
Yes, propaganda of what cannabis was. And, back then we were hooked right in the jaw with the media and with the news.
We believed it all.
We did.
Doctors, accountants, lawyers, news, the whole 9 yards, politicians.
The only avenue we had to find out how our troops were, or what's going on in the world, what's going on in Africa, what's going on. And they would just make up stuff and tell you, and people all believed it.
That's what we're
because
finding out.
We had no boots on the ground.
Right.
There to tell us.
But now with the internet, we do.
Yes.
And that's what we're doing here is boots on the ground.
Yes. Yes.
And teaching you how to help yourself at the same time.
Yeah.
So this soil is not just for cannabis, it's for any kind of soil because John's a farmer. But where'd you get all this soil?
This soil?
Uh-huh.
I purchased quite a few bags of it, but then the rest of it I mixed myself.
Okay, and this soil came from last year's growth, right?
Yes.
So the bags that used to be sitting over here, let's give you an example here of where it came from. So this is an example of where a plant was just last year. And let me just come over here, and John, if you can explain why you're taking this soil and putting it over to there.
It's time for the reconditioning time. That's all about the recondition.
Okay.
Yes, and then I'll take it next year.
So you don't have to buy new soil every year?
Yes, yes.
You don't have to?
I will buy some, but I will buy a third of what I usually buy. Take that third and add it to the stuff, and recondition it along with the stuff I've added just now. And by the time springtime comes, should be worked in there, have a little rain on it to help mix it up and run it into that soil real good. And we'll start out the year just kicking butt.
Okay, went right on. All right, well, I'm going to stop this video because it's windy. As you can see, the greenhouse weight room is going to be created pretty soon.
Yes.
And it looks like a mess out here, but it's creativity in the works.
The diamond in the rough.
And this is before, and then we're going to have after. All right.
One last thing to leave you with.
What's that?
If you take, what do you think is more valuable? A pound of grapes or a pound of cannabis? So if you look at the retail value of the two, you get $3 and something for a pound of grapes. You get $800 to $1,500 to $2,000 depending on the quality of your cannabis by a pound.
See, that's being in the right
business.
business.
If you're the county and people that are looking for that tax money, start issuing out some permits to the cannabis growers, not the select handful that you have, but give out by the dozens. Get out by the dozens.
Hemp and cannabis.
Yes, and create an organization that goes around and polices these places where you gave licenses to. Keeps them in line. That's all you got to do. It's better than doing that than giving out 5 permits, making a minuscule amount of tax dollar off it, and then complaining about it, saying that it's not worth growing. That's not true. Look at how many grapes you have around here. If you took the same amount of cannabis or the same amount of grapes and grew it the year that you're allowed in cannabis, what would you come up with? A failure, a complete failure. Because you need tons and tons of grapes to make any money. Cannabis, you don't. Small farmers need to be backed up and they need to be given the chance to get their permit and grow. Because it's all about the family farm. You know, they destroyed the family farm when they legalized marijuana, and this county is dead set on destroying the family farms permanently.
So what can we do about it?
Support the family farm. Go to your local county board of supervisor meetings, or put your input there, or at the city council meetings for San Luis. And we need to get these people out that are far left, and we need at least to get a balance of right and left. Because right now, for instance, San Luis City Council is completely all Democrat. It's a complete Democrat. And how do you get fairness when you have that? You don't.
I think we should look into fraudulent voting, because how did they all get in there when there was a whole bunch of people vying for the spot?
Yeah, the city locals were voting for one person, supporting them 100%, and she still lost.
I was shocked.
That's not possible.
Turn that off. I was shocked. Anyway, what we can do about it is we can start talking with each other. We're going to put an email in the description of this video if you want to get a hold of us. And there's the Farmers Bureau that helps a lot. There's a special lawyer there that was shipped in from Kentucky that had to deal with this before, and so they know how to deal with these people. But that's the people speak up. If it's about money and about how it all works, let's figure it out. Let's have a conversation and not fight against wine and cannabis.
Yeah, don't have
let's be
meetings.
friends and know what we're all up to.
Yes.
We're farmers. That's the bottom line.
No closed meetings. Have open door town hall meetings where you invite the farmers in and come up with a solution. They don't
win-win
they
for
don't
everybody.
know, but yet they're taking the power over us and they're making the decisions for us.
We're giving them the power.
Yeah,
they
true.
work
That's true.
for us. Remember that, you guys. All right, love life and life will love you back. Thank you, John Gordon. Have a great day. Bye-bye for now.